in here of the things we might want to do. I'm going to go straight to close period, see we're in January, and I'm going to try and close the period. Okay, it says I'm about to do it and it's let me, so I didn't have any journals there. So now if I go finish and then go back into, I like to go into setup accounting period just to make sure it's done what it said it was going to do, and now we're in February. I have now entered some transactions for February and run the month end for February as stated in the manual. I've then just entered some transactions for March, which is the last period in our financial year. So the next thing we want to do is run the month end for March, which in turn will also run a year end. So before we would normally run the month end, we normally print off reports, etc. I'll just, in case you're not sure how to do it, show you how to run a daybook report just for a particular period. If I go into the reports dashboard for the customer module, and then I'll run a daybook for all transaction types. So I'll double click that. Okay, and then in the filter criteria, I can say period code in list and just run for my particular period, which is going to be March 2008. And then I can print that. There we go, that's all the transactions I've entered on the sales. It's just the transactions that it tells you to enter in the manual. Okay, so I can run all my other reports obviously and run them just for March. But now what I'm going to do is I want to close the month. So if I go straight to accounting and process month end, I'm going to go straight to close period. Now because I haven't done a batch posting yet, when I click the close period button, it comes up and tells me there are unposted transactions for March 2008. Do you want to batch post them? So I'm going to say yes, and that runs the batch posting wizard. So obviously forces me to do March, tells me what it's going to post, and if I finish that, it'll show me the log, show me everything that's getting posted. Okay, so now when I come back to this screen, I can now click close period again. We can see that March is the last period in our current year. So it's going to do a year end as well, and that should be March close. So if I now just go back into accounting periods, we can see that our current period is now April. Okay, so having done a year end, we should now see that we've got a brought forward balance on balance sheet codes. So if we just go and have a look at a couple of codes, so if we go into the chart of accounts, I'm going to have a look at our 4000 code. We'll see that there's no brought forward balance, which is as expected. But if we go and have a look at another code, which is our 1100 code, for our debtors, and go into the account detail, then we'll see that we've got a brought forward balance because this is a balance sheet code. So that is basically what the year end will have done. Now let's now presume that we've had a journal from the accountant after we've done the year end has been run, and we need to post this back into the previous year. Now we can do this, and the way that we do it is by doing a prior year adjustment. So if I go into prior year adjustment, it shows any previous prior year adjustments that I've done in here. I click the new button. It basically opens a normal journal window, but it's got March's date, which is the last period in our previous year in here, and it's going to go into the March 08 period. So let's just enter a very quick journal. Okay, so if we save that journal, save and close, if I refresh the screen now, what we'll find is that we've got our journal in here, so we can always keep track of what we've got in our prior year adjustment. And what that will have done is put a brought forward balance on the 0010 nominal, or increase it if there was already a balance there. Okay, the last thing that we're going to do is have a look at the audit trail within accounting, and this is basically just showing us what's happened in here in the current period, I think, because I've got the filter set, so we can change the filter in here to look at what's happened previously. So it basically gives us knowledge of everything that's happened in here. So obviously there's not a lot going on for April.